Kevin, let's start with this. Just second year now officially with the Mets. How different is entering spring training this year than it was a season ago? And not just in the fact that you know a lot of these guys now, but also, and not to take anything away from some of the guys that were here last year, the offensive potential that this lineup now presents.
Well, we're a lot better at this point in time than we were last year. We've got some depth throughout our lineup. We don't have many holes. We've got a pretty solid bench. Sandy's done a nice job in the front office of picking up players. Diaz is a heck of a player. Cespedes, obviously, picking him up was key. Conforto, another year underneath his belt. Travis d'Arnaud, keep him healthy and on the field. David Wright, the same thing. This guy Cabrera at short is really, really talented. Maybe we can get Grandy going at some point this year. I laugh at that. He had a heck of a year. But I'm excited. I feel more comfortable around the guys. I feel more comfortable coming into camp. Certainly that's got to help. It's got to play into, helping us be a better club.
Juan Lagares showed up in camp looking fantastic. He said he lost about 20 pounds in the offseason. When you look at Lagares, a couple of things. First of all, how do you as a hitting coach kind of transition him from the mentality of being an everyday guy to now being someone that is more of a role player coming off the bench? And B, what type of impact do you think he could still have, and could he find his way into some playing time depending on how he does?
I was so proud of the way he handled himself last year. Obviously, losing playing time and not getting the everyday nod in center field and sitting on the bench a little bit, he was phenomenal. I mean, his August and September and even playoffs, there were some at-bats where I can remember he got on against Atlanta, and then Murphy hit the home run, and we ended up coming back that game. But Juan Lagares put together a heck of an at-bat during that inning that allowed us to win that game. So first and foremost, I'm proud to see that he put in the work and the time to get his body where it needs to be. His swing is getting better and better and better. He's getting more on time. I'm excited that Juan Lagares is on our team, and I think at some point you're going to hear a little more than just a reserve player helping us out.
The two new middle infielders, you mentioned them earlier off the top, Asdrúbal Cabrera, Neil Walker. Obviously, you don't have as many guys to learn now this year, but how do you ease into that, again, with these two new guys? What have you seen from them so far? And I know you're someone that does a lot of work in the offseason looking at tape. How much did you break down their swing coming into camp this year?
Quite a bit. I did. Most of my homework was on Cabrera and on Walker. It's kind of cool having some switch hitters. I know when I was with the Yankees, we had a lot of switch hitters, and they're hard to maneuver around. Do you want to hit them on the right side? Do you want to switch them around to the left side? Both Cabrera and Walker bring that to the table. Cabrera's much more even with his splits. Walker's working hard on his right-handed swing, trying to get it to where it needs to be so that the consistency is there day in and day out. He's another guy who said they didn't face, a whole lot of left-handed pitching, so he would get a little bit out of a whack with his swing. We made a couple mechanical changes that he's real excited about and I'm excited about. But I mean, these guys are probably going to hit anywhere from 15 to 25 homers. They're probably going to hit in the 260 to 290 range. That sounds like a pretty good major league player to me.
Well, those are pretty good numbers if they indeed do come to fruition. What about challenges that Kevin Long's going to face when it comes to getting Lagares comfortable in this role that he's going to embark on this year?
Yeah, I think, and you saw him talk about it with Steve there at length, which was interesting to me, because I think that Lagares is his major project this year, because you have to turn this guy into a productive bench player. There are issues with his game that made it hard for him to be productive when he was playing every day. Being a bench player is more challenging as an offensive player. There's a drill that the Mets do, Gary, called like a breaking ball drill. The curveball machine throws fastballs and curveballs to the players, depending on what they want to do, and they do a recognition drill. Well, when the curveball's coming at you, they say, okay, anytime it's a curveball, don't swing. That's so they know if the player recognizes what's coming. Lagares swung at 10 straight curveballs at one point last year. No idea for pitch recognition. So that's the work that Long has to do, and it becomes that much more difficult when he's not playing as much. So therefore, spring training becomes potentially the most important time of the year. You got to get him a good 65, 70 at-bats if you can in the Grapefruit League season. You got to make all your tweaks and adjustments now, because once he gets into the season, he has to be as fresh as possible and as developed as possible on skills that needed help anyway under easier circumstances.
There has to be some optimism, though, the fact that he was productive in the postseason.
Yes.
In a similar role last year.